Good evening, everybody. John Robinson, aka the Hospice Nurse. Here we are in the month of November, which is National Hospice and Palliative Care Month. Tonight we're going to talk about appetite, hunger, and feeding a patient who is on an end-of-life journey. First of all, one of the main things you got to think about is when you're anxious, when you're scared, the least thing you want to do is eat. Now put on top of that an end-of-life illness, knowing that in 6 months or less, odds are you probably may not be here. Do you feel like eating? My nerves would get the best of me, that's for sure. You know, but there's a lot that goes on in a person's life when it comes to food intake, etc. Beside the anxiety, I would say the first thing that people don't like, maybe because they've had chemotherapy or radiation, the taste of meat. For some reason, all my patients say it just tastes like you know what. It's real bad. And you know, sometimes you can't blame them. So a lot of times when they do say that, you got to think of comfort foods and different foods, maybe spaghettis, maybe different ways of preparing food. So instead of doing it the old way, you may have to do something else, maybe a little more bland. Of a cooking recipe might do well. Also, when you get closer to an end-of-life event, the body begins to shut down. So 3 months ago, I probably could have had 3 plates of spaghetti throughout the day and a salad. But as your body begins to shut down, the metabolism shuts down, your hunger, your appetite shuts down. So you might be able to just maybe take in 1 full meal a day, or the equivalence of 1 full meal a day. You know, maybe a sandwich, some crackers, some pudding, maybe a couple cups of soda or coffee or juice. You know, and that definitely declines. And one thing I must say is, please, to the caregivers that are there, don't bargain with the person and sit there and say, you know what, if you don't eat this, you're not going to get better. You're just going to get sick. Well, you know what? The person is at the end of their life. They don't need to hear that. They do not need to be guilted in, because that little bit of food is not going to make a difference in their lives. I know I'm Italian, and food to me is comfort. And I think that's a basic recipe for every nationality. Food is comfort. Hey, come on over and have something to eat. Sit down, have something to eat. Well, these people don't realize that when you're at the end of your life, food is the least thing in your mind. I always tell people, you don't need physical food. You don't need stuff like that. At this point of your life, you need spiritual food. And by spiritual food, I just mean you need support. You need to get this right with the man above and with everybody else who's within your house. That's the most important food that you need at this point in your life, especially as your disease process progresses down the road. You know, and your metabolism slows down. So you put food in, it doesn't travel or get digested as quickly as yours or mine. First of all, you may be in bed, lying down. You're not getting up doing stuff. And I've had people tell me they could have a little peanut butter cracker and the food just sits in their stomach. That causes them more discomfort than anything else. And you got to think too, as the body begins to slow down, so does every other function within the body. So if you're putting food in, and all the other functions are slowing down, that's going to lead to constipation, number 1. It's going to lead to bloating. It could lead to nauseousness and vomiting, which can open an array of difficulties, especially if a person is bedbound. So the most important thing for you caregivers to take away is, please, don't play the guilt card, okay? If the patient has hunger, they will ask. If they're thirsty, they will ask. Do not force food down their throats. Do not force food through guilt. Please keep that in the back of your minds. You know, when you're sick with the flu, or you're sick with whatever the case may be, and someone keeps coming at you, well, here, eat this, drink this, you're going to push them away or you're going to hit them. or you're going to get mad. Well, just think of yourself with all your body shutting down. You don't feel good. Think of how that person is in that bed. And that might make a little bit of a difference in your life and how you look towards food for that person. You know, I'm John Robinson, aka the Hospice Guy. I hope you hugged a veteran today. Anyway, may God bless. Have a good night.